Hi everybody, how's it going today? Before I start the video today, I want to remind everyone, if you want to try dairy products made from milk from our cows in our family's creamery, head to COWsandCoCreamery.com. You can ship gelato and Gouda cheese, Chaudakas, directly to your door anywhere in the United States other than Hawaii and Alaska. I have a few things to enter in the computer here this morning. I'm going to do that here first thing. Got some vaccinations that the guys did here 2 days ago. Entering calving records. I like to do that at least twice a week, but more often if I have time or remember to do it. And then we did ship 20 cows today. So we shipped cows, 19 cows actually. There's quite a few big cows in there. So we decided to send 19 instead of 20. A lot of times I'll take 20. But it was mainly do not breed cows, cows that are later in days in milk. Production starting to drop off, non-pregnant cows, but some cows with milk quality issues as well. A few other things. Big cow, a couple of big cows, a couple of chronic lames. But gonna enter that into the computer, and then I've got the cow manager tags from those cows here. Need to delink those tags from those cows, and then we can reuse them for other cows here, or we'll put them in our heifers. Got to delink them because they'll show up as no movement on the cow manager computer, and they're no movement because their tag's not in the cows here. So get those records entered in here quickly this morning. I have a couple things to look at. We got a skid steer that's not working, so we'll go check that out here. I'm pretty sure I know what it is from the code that Sam sent to me last night, but I'm gonna check it over, message our dealer, call our dealer, see if he can come check it out. And then we need to replace a motor on our screw press, on our solid manure separator, so we're going to do that this morning here too. Our electrician picked one up in Fargo yesterday. They had the motor we needed, so we'll get that swapped out and hopefully get that screw press going again. We've had some issues with it here the last, since before the weekend actually. So we'll hopefully get that resolved here today also. So we'll get this done here and then catch back up with you guys here in a few minutes. Thought I'd show you guys this here quickly. Our water tank used to be sitting here. We've got it moved over. Moved it over to here, then we've got our other tank sitting beside it here. Just temporarily ran this hose inside to the pump, and then that's the fill line. That's going up and into the tank. Cut this hole in the wall here yesterday. We've got a few things to move. We need to move this pressure tank from one of our hot water heaters. We need to move this electrical. This hose is just a vent hose. The pump will stay where it is. We might move this over a touch more and move this out of the way. I have to talk to our plumber about doing that, because we'd have to change a few things here to swap that out. Need to move that propane line. And our concrete guy will be coming here in a couple days to cut that concrete wall out. I want to cut it down to the floor inside the building. And I want to do that first before we do any excavating here, because I want to dig this out, dig the footings out, or potentially drill the footings. I think we might use a drill on the skid steer and drill them instead of digging them. But I want to do that the day before pouring it. We're right by the roof line here, so I want to get this ready and pour it right away. I don't want to leave it sitting here for several days, give the chance to rain and fill up the holes. So hopefully Keith comes this week here. He said he'd be here Thursday, Friday to cut that wall out. And we'll potentially pour this pad for the silo to sit on early next week is the plan at this point. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Where these lines are, this is tentatively the outside of the tank. So it's going to be sitting right here. And then that opening on the tank will... It's not going to be quite touching the wall. It'll sit a little off the wall. We wanted to have it touching, then we had to change the roof there, and I really didn't want to do that. We don't need to have it sitting up against the wall, and we need to build the outside out anyways, finish that with tin, so it made sense to me to have it sit a little further away from the wall. But that's where we're at in this project. Thought I'd show you guys that here quickly. Skid steer here now that wasn't working. Chris is working on getting that motor hooked up. We'll check back over there in a few minutes to try to get that thing fired up, make sure everything's running right. Got an alarm on here. Drives in reverse, but the right side does not drive forward. Just spinning. Something going on with the right side drive. The book said solenoid valve, but it also said left side reverse, so that's complete opposite of what's happening. It's the right side forward that's not working. But message our dealer, see if they can come check it out. Hopefully just the solenoid valve and swap that out. For now I'm going to leave this here. We'll grab the payloader and pick it up and take it over to the shop. It's after lunch here now. Check on our screw press here. We got it running, but we do still have an issue. For some reason we're not able to run it in automatic at the moment. So there's a control in there that potentially also went bad, so we've got that on order now. I'm not sure what all happened here, but the motor, VFD, and this control all had issues. So whatever it was, whether it was the motor or the VFD, whichever one went first, caused several issues. But we're able to use it now at least, so that's a good thing. Hopefully that control shows up here before the end of the week. Get that replaced and then we'll be back in operation like we should be. It's working at the moment. Separating solid manure again. In the room here where the controls are for all of our manure equipment. We've got controls for our sand manure separators, augers that bring the manure to our building here. And then this is the control box for our solid manure separator. So this is the drive that we replaced. It was a different brand before. And now we've got potentially an issue with this thing up here that's works together with the drive to tell the screw press what to do, how to run. We wouldn't necessarily need it, but that screw press runs in reverse for a few seconds prior when you start it up, prior to then turning the right direction, just to help loosen that manure up if it sits for a while. And it was a few $100, so I thought it made sense just to replace that, make sure that it runs the way it's supposed to. If it was a few $1,000s, then maybe we'd think about it, but there really isn't any other function that we use it for other than that reversing function. So we've got one coming. We're running it on hand now at the moment, which works, but ideally we want to run on auto. So we'll hopefully get that fixed here before the end of the week. Be back running the way it should be. We also had Leadstone come out. If you remember, for a few videos ago, we changed the size hoses, size milk hoses to our milking claws upstairs and down to the basement to our milk meters. So with that, we also had to adjust our wash system. So they came out today, just looked that over, make some small changes to make sure our pipeline is getting clean and it's going to stay clean. And had somebody mention if I could do an update on how things are going with the milk hoses, so I'll maybe end this video with that. I'll try to do that before the end of the day here. Go into the parlor, kind of talk about how that change has affected the cows and our milking. It's been now at least a month, I think. So it's been quite a while, or long enough time to get some idea of how things are working. So I'll maybe end the video with that in the parlor here. A couple days later here, didn't get a chance to finish the video. Just thought I'd do a quick update about changing to our bigger hoses in the parlor, and we were working on our wash system, kind of explain what we were doing here the other day, what I had wanted to show here at the end of this video. It's just about shift change here, so this is the last line here before these guys are done for the day. If you remember, we increased these hoses here, the milk hoses, to a 3/4 inch hose. This is a pen of high production cows here. So I had a few people ask me if we'd seen any changes since going to the bigger hose, and really not any big noticeable changes. We are milking out the cows a little bit faster, particularly the high production cows. We're getting done with milking a little bit earlier. I can't tell you exactly how much quicker they're being milked out because I didn't look at the stats really before we made the change. But it's definitely making a difference because our guys are done, I don't know, probably 30 minutes earlier than they normally would be. But definitely making a change in how quickly our high producing cows are able to drop their milk, even with the reduced vacuum. We'll have to just watch it here. The idea is it should be better for the teat ends of the cows, which then will be better for somatic cell counts, better for udder health, better for mastitis. We should see lower mastitis into the future. But that never really was a problem for us. Milk quality, we've been under 100 somatic cell count here for, I think it was 22 months straight now. So I wasn't expecting to see a big improvement there. But I'm hoping to see some improvement in mastitis cases and teat ends on our older cows. We've got quite a few 4th, 5th, 6th, so even some 7th and 8th lactation cows in our herd. On those older cows, just hoping see a little bit of an improvement on the teat ends. We'll look at a couple cows here that are just done. So what can happen from over milking or high vacuum, they can get cracks in the ends of their teats. And that can cause mastitis because then you've got an opening on the teat. It's easier for bacteria to get in there. But again, it'll be, if it's a change, it'll be a minor change, but it's definitely lowering the vacuum for the cows is definitely going to be a positive thing. That's guaranteed, and I can guarantee that. What we were doing the other day was replacing this hose down here, this wash hose. And there's a restrictor in each one of those hoses. So with going to the bigger hose, we've got more water going through the unit in theory, so we have to restrict the water in the wash cycle to make sure that all of our units get the same amount of water. So we swapped those hoses, put the restrictors in, and then Leadstone came out with one of their wash specialists just to make sure that our wash system was performing like it should be. So maybe just go down to the basement quick and kind of explain why that's really important. Kind of wrap this video up here. We'll head down there. I'm in the basement here now. I'm not sure why, but my camera's showing up really dark for me. So hopefully you guys can kind of see down here what I'm talking about. So we've got our units here. These are the hoses going upstairs, the milk hoses. These are the wash hoses. And this is the milk line, so there's two lines. At the end there's an elbow. So when we're washing, the way it works is there's a vat upstairs that fills, and it gets suctioned into this line from upstairs through the milk unit. So the milk units are pulling vacuum through here, sucking water out of here, and then it's going into the milk line, going down to the receiver, getting pumped back upstairs, and then it gets sucked back through the wash line again, just circulating all the time. But what can happen with the bigger hose, if we don't have those restrictors at the right size, we could be flooding some units, not getting enough water to some. So it's important to make sure that we've got that set right, that we've got those restrictors sized right, to ensure that each unit is getting the same amount of water. And then at the same time, we need to make sure that we're getting enough water back to this receiver to then go back to the top, to then get sucked back around again. We don't want to have anything empty. We don't want to have anything flooded. What could also happen is if we're getting too much water down here, the pump can't keep up, and then it'll go into the trap here. This ball rises up and then shuts the vacuum off to this side. So without trying to get too complicated here, what we were trying to do is just make sure that each unit got the right amount of water during wash, and then also a slug of air gets injected into this pipeline every so many seconds. So this opens up, there's a plunger in here, it shuts this valve so that it forces all of the water to go down to the end and back through the other line. And in theory what we're doing is we're scrubbing that line with a jet of air that's pushing a slug of water, and then it comes into the receiver and essentially explodes into this receiver, helps keep the receiver cleaner. So with making those changes, they just changed the timing on this a little bit. I think they added some plugs to the intake here, and then also changed the amount of time that it's open, because we need to make sure to get that timing right to get that slug all the way around. So that's what we were working on the other day. So just a few minor changes here. We haven't made any changes to the milk settings or vacuum settings since going to the bigger hose, where we were right when we installed them. We left them there. That's been going good. Tom, the guy that came out and is testing all the cows, he was happy with what he was seeing. Very steady vacuum at the claw for all cows, low production cows, high production cows. On the high production cows, that's where we were wanting to see the improvement. We didn't want to see the fluctuation of vacuum on those cows, where they're dropping so much milk that milk hose was too small and it couldn't keep the vacuum high enough at the teat end. So we were having to increase our vacuum to keep that vacuum high enough to prevent the units from falling off. So now we've been able to reduce our vacuum, get that milk away from the cow quicker, because some of those high producing cows, they really let their milk down quickly. So it's yeah, small change, but definitely it should be a good one in the long run for our cows. Don't really have anything else that I wanted to put in this video. Didn't have anything specific for this video to begin with. Just a day in the life, I guess, kind of. Ended up being a couple days in the life here because we're a few days later, but I think we'll end the video here. Appreciate you guys watching. Questions, comments, post them down below, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.